Okay guys, thanks and welcome back to the Hallicrafters TW1000 restoration. Boy, I'm learning a lot here. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about tonight is replacing that filter capacitor, the 4-section filter capacitor. I'm actually not going to replace it, but I'm going to show you what I've been going through. In the beginning, I talked to you about possibly using an adapter cap. Well, I've changed my mind on that. I'm going to actually cut the cap off on the top and then thread things down through the bottom. I'm going to pause for a second here, disconnect you from the stand so that I can actually get in and get you in close so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll put you back on the can when I actually start cutting. All right? Stand by. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, I put my big chunky finger in here. This is the filter can. There's four caps in this filter can. The problem is, no matter how close in I get photographs, I cannot see the markings as to which one is which. So I had to identify them with a capacitor tester and then route where they go so I know exactly which one is which when I start putting the caps back in. When I did that, I made a little drawing here for myself so I'd know this is the bottom, top, and I know which are which. It's something that you really got to be careful with, otherwise you'll spend more time later trying to figure it all out once that cap is out. Okay, and through the magic of camera, I now have you flipped around. Okay, this is the cap that I was talking about. What I did was I took my heat gun. This is stuck on. It's actually off now. I got it off, but I wanted to show you this. This is stuck on with tar. And usually you can heat this up. It'll loosen up and you can wiggle it and get it off. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So what I did was, I'll pull this off so you can, come on, don't break. I cut it down the side. Okay, because I want to reuse this. When I get the caps mounted here, I want to be able to slide this back down if I have enough room. Okay, I cut it down the side, and I started working a little bit with a flat-bladed screwdriver until I could peel it off. Obviously, I glued it back together. I'll keep the writing out in the front so you can see what that is. But here's what peeled out of it. This is the tar that was holding it in place. I'll get you in a little better focus here. And this peeled off very easily, came out of the case, out of this cardboard tube once it was done. So again, that should have softened up and came right out, but it didn't, so it cost me a little extra work. What I'm going to do now, throw that away, I'm going to get a sheetrock knife, and I'm actually going to start cutting with the sheetrock. This is very thin aluminum. It's very easy to cut. I'm just going to start cutting around the edge here. I'll go all the way around, and then I'll be able to get in there and cut off everything that's in there. Okay, so I'm going to put you on a stand. Get ready, because I'll put you on a stand, and I'm going to do this real time. Okay. So you can see a lot of blue painter's tape on here. What I did was I covered up every hole that actually goes through into something. Tubes, I took the tubes out so I don't break anything that has a hole or a passageway into the main chassis. I took out so that nothing spills in there or gets into the tube sockets. So what we do, I don't know if you can see this here, but I insert the blade and just start working it. Okay. Takes a while. So again, you got to work this. I'm not going to shut you guys off because it's going to take a while to do this, but I wanted you to see what it's like doing this. Yeah, there's other ways of doing it. I could probably spend less time if I just pop the can out. And restuffed it or used the other plate, but you know what? I didn't want to disturb a lot of the wiring that's under there. So once I get this off, I'm going to pause you guys until I get this part done, and then I'll come back on. Alrighty, stand by. Okay, this is what it looks like after it's cut off. You can only get so far around with the knife, and you're still going to have to get inside anyway to cut off the plates. So I always use a hacksaw blade, you know, and then just get in and finish cutting it off. You got to be careful not to hit anything, but that's another reason why I covered everything up here. This way it does get a little ragged. You got to clean this all up, but you'll see how this works once. I don't even need to take this stuff out of the can because I'm not reusing this. I'm going to throw this out, and eventually this will just be fit over the top of the capacitors that are there so that it looks stock. Alrighty, stand by. I'm going to pause you again. Okay, all cleaned up. Now, one of the things that I want to point out here, where's my pointer? Buried in my desk here. One of the things I want to point out is you have your four connections down below. These two were the 40, these two were the 80s, 150, 150, 150 volts, and this was an 80 at 25. I might have it reversed, these two reversed, but what I need to do is I need to drill a hole down through the center for the negative lead, and then I need to drill 4 holes close to each lead so that I can, when I slide the capacitor lead down through there, it'll go right down in, okay? Real easy to do. So, I'm going to get to it. Let's see how I can screw this up. It's just paper you're going through, so hopefully I didn't break anything down below. A little duster brush here. Okay. So that'll be enough to get my ground lead to go down through. Okay. That's real simple. Now we change drills. Now I need to put a hole next to each one of these. Okay. Hopefully I'm not messing up the wires down below. Okay, because what you're going to do, let me clean this off here. I'll have to vacuum it better, but I'll give you an idea of what's going to happen. I have my capacitors. Here's a 40 microfarad at 150, positive end, negative end. These were up on top. That'll go down here. There's another one in here. Okay, here's another 40, 105 degree, 40. Okay. This can go down in like that. And it'll get a little hot melt to hold these together. I may not be able to fit the cover back on once this is done, but that's okay. This way, if somebody wants to change one of these because it's failed, here's the 3 of them. Okay, I can move these around a little bit. Okay, the 4th one's not going to fit. I'm going to have to put that in on the bottom. Okay, that'll give you an idea of how this is going to work. I know I'm off camera. That's okay. You don't need to see me. And then this can go down over the top of it, and it'll look original. Like I said, there'll only be one cap. It's either going to be the 80 or the other 40. That'll be down below. Alrighty, so that pretty much takes care of that part of it. And I'm going to pause for a sec. Okay, for this. Now this is the underside. You can see the large hole that I drilled. A little sloppy on that. I could have done that neater if I didn't push on the drill as I was going through. But this can all be cleaned up. That's where the neutral wire is going to come down. It's going to hook to here because this is not a hot chassis. In other words, it has a B plus and a B minus. Okay, so it's not grounded to the chassis. So that neutral wire or ground wire has to come down onto here, the exterior of the can, okay, which also connects here. I'm off frame here. I'm sorry about that. So this is a neutral, and this is a neutral. Those were the twist locks for the can. All right. Get back a little bit. Okay. So you can see one of the wires is here. There's another one right here that I pushed through. This is the 80 microfarad that I pushed through. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be on this side. I looked at the thing. So before I can do anything with that, I'm going to have to remove it, move it around. But that's how easy it is. Is it work? Yeah, it's work. There's no matter how you do it, it's work. You can remove it. You can try to get a replacement, which is going to run you a lot of money for a custom can like that, although they are being manufactured. You can restuff the can that's there and make it look pretty, or you can do what I did, and then, I don't know where it is, and then just slip this cover back down over the top so it'll look factory. Okay, a couple things you can do, but that's it. All the parts are on order. A couple of the caps I had in stock, so I believe that's going to be it for this evening. The next time we're going to be working on the selenium rectifier, replacing that with a terminal strip, as well as relocating some of this stuff here. But again, I'm going to need caps coming in to be able to do all of this. Hopefully they're in by before next week so we can get this done. If not, I'll at least get the selenium replaced with a silicone diode. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Always a pleasure to see you guys. Well, I don't see you, but always a pleasure. And looking forward to continuing to work on this. One of the easiest things in this radio is that the radio is already working, which is a good thing. There's no troubleshooting involved. It's just going in. I could have left the radio the way it was. That's not what I do. When I have a radio, I want it restored so that I can play it and I don't have to, oh my God, something happened. This broke, that broke, and then go into. No, I enjoy restoring radios. So restoring it means getting all these old waxies out. These are paper caps as well. Just because they're in like a, I don't know what the heck that is. It's almost like a ceramic case. It's still a waxy capacitor. Those got to go. All right, so that's it. We'll see you again next week. All right, looking forward to it. Take care. Okay, back in here real quick again. I tell you, I went back and I looked at the video. First of all, I'm not a videographer. I have to get better, so please bear with me, those that are watching along. Interesting. For those times with the camera was not focused on what I was talking about. I apologize for that, but I will get better, I promise. One thing I did forget was when you're cutting off that capacitor, I meant to say this, you can't go all the way through with your utility knife. The reason for that is you have the plates on the inside, the metal. You need to get in there with a hacksaw. So I go about halfway, 3/4 of the way with the utility knife, and then I get the hacksaw blade. I take the blade out of the saw because there's no room, and I just nice gently saw through and then saw all the way through until it's completely off. But after watching the video, I figured, oh my God, I better go back because somebody's going to think that I said you can get the whole can off with a utility knife, which you can't. That being said, I'm probably going to release this tonight. It's a Saturday. I've been releasing them on Sundays, but tomorrow's a Super Bowl. So I want to release it today. Maybe you'll watch it today. Maybe you'll watch it after the Super Bowl. But again, thanks for joining, and looking forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.